Braving freezing temperatures, hundreds of furloughed U.S. government employees and contractors gathered at a congressional office building to protest a prolonged government shutdown. A quarter of federal agencies have been closed. Some 800,000 federal employees have been left without pay for more than a month.
We're hopeful that someone's listening today and that they can encourage the president and the Republican Party to cut this out and get people back to work.
The shutdown was triggered by President Donald Trump's refusal to sign funding bills in December, in retaliation for Democratic opposition to funds for the U.S.-Mexico border wall. In Washington, D.C., near the National Mall, a nonprofit organization set up an emergency relief kitchen, handing out meals and daily necessities to government employees who are forced to work without pay or take unpaid leave.
In the aftermath of disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanoes, we go in and we have a program to provide hot meals to people who are affected by these disasters. And we're right here today in Washington, D.C. We've set up an emergency relief kitchen here in the city to support those workers affected by the government shutdown. For the first time in their lives, many of them are having to stand in line for a plate of food. They're hardworking Americans who serve their government, and they are now not able to provide for themselves or their families. So many of them are about to miss a second paycheck. They still have to pay their rents and food, and many of them are struggling because they're not getting paid. Many of them are still working. Many of these folks are going to work every day, still working, but they are not getting paid. So it's a very different type of disaster than we normally work, but it is a disaster nonetheless.
And the stalemate grinds on. In a latest attempt at ending the impasse, U.S. senators advanced two measures to reopen shuttered agencies on Thursday, but both bills failed to pass the Senate.